when one starts looking at disaster recovery itself and business continuity planning, the very first step is what they call a business impact analysis. It's, in a sense, where you go through your applications and you figure out what you need to fortify. Now, this is one where you really need to get the executives to buy in. I mean, one, you need to in turn have them be part of the process so they help define what a mission critical application is. You don't want your site to go down and find out that you thought 5 of the 10 applications which are critical and you fortified those 5 applications only to find out the executive wanted one other application. So in a sense, it's teamwork working together to in turn define what your mission critical applications are going to be. Secondly, you need to sort of figure out what your recovery or your RTO is going to be, and that's basically what is acceptable downtime. Most executives, when they start off with a business impact analysis, are going to come to you and tell you that I don't want to have any downtime. They don't want to be impacted whatsoever. But the reality is those are very expensive endeavors. You can do it, but it's going to be very costly. And I think at times that's not something the executives are fully understanding of. The next thing you need to figure out is what's your recovery point objective. I think one example comes to mind. For example, one of the companies I worked at was called Shutterfly. Shutterfly itself does the vast majority of its business in the last 3 months of the year is creating photos, albums, things of that nature. We're probably doing, on average, well over $100,000 in revenue every single hour during that time frame. So when we look at recovery point objective and where we want to recover from, we don't want to lose any of that revenue. So from that perspective, our recovery point objective was basically 0. We wanted to bring the system back up at the moment that it crashed. So these are the things you need to work with your executives to figure out what your RTO is going to be and what your RPO is going to be. And once again, 0 downtime is going to cost you a lot of money, but that's where you need to work with the executives. You need to guide the executives. The reality is that 10 minutes to 20 minutes of downtime, in most cases, is going to be acceptable depending on what you're actually doing. So that's where, once again, you need to come to an agreement with the actual executives themselves and define what your business impact analysis is going to be. Look at defining what your mission critical applications are going to be. Once you've got that done, that's your first step in creating a business continuity plan.